It's time for Clubhouse Chatter. Here's Normor Dez and Tony Torcato.
Hey, that's right. We're back for another Sunday, and along with producer Brian Erickson, Tony Torcato back in studio with us again.
Thanks,
Tony, how's it going?
Having me back. Thank you.
Man, what a week.
Week.
It has been, I wouldn't necessarily, it's been a bad week. I mean, baseball-wise, it was good. But Prince Rogers Nelson, dead at the age of 57, found dead in his elevator at Paisley Park.
God, what a shame.
He was
a legend. And I still listen to his music.
He is, and on so many different levels. I mean, not only as an artist, as a singer. I mean, everybody can, talk about, his music. But the man played 23 different instruments. The guy...
Most talented of all time.
Very possible. Very possible. When you think about, his music, his writing, and he has written songs like Manic Monday by the Bangles. Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor. And there was a handful of others that he has written. It just blows me away, how talented this man was.
I really want to know what happened, how he died.
It'll be interesting.
I read a couple articles, where I was on the news, and they said he had the flu, but was it true he might have overdosed?
On Percocet, possibly.
You know what? I wouldn't.
We'll wait.
I don't know. Man.
I don't think he was necessarily a drug guy. Your heroin and whatnot, but I could totally understand like the Percocet and stuff because of the hip problems that he's had, and I know you've used pain pills and I've used pain pills. And it can be hard, and I could totally understand being addicted to them. And so maybe, I could live with that a lot more than, an heroin overdose.
Right. But I think the problem is that these guys take too many at once, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got to stop with all that.
So
that's
Prince Rogers Nelson. Brian, what are, it's kind of hard. I'm having a hard time of putting a finger on, my favorite Prince song. There were so many of them. Brian, what were a couple of your favorites?
Well, When Doves Cry, of course, one of my favorite songs, very slow.
Absolutely.
Of course, it was great in, high school to have those slow songs. Purple Rain, the classic. Growing up with Prince and going to a lot of high school events, you always heard that. And it's what everyone thinks of when they think of Prince, but just a great song. I think I've heard it like 28 times since Friday.
How about you, Tony?
I like Raspberry Beret.
That's one of my favorites.
1999.
Yep.
Kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch. But
yeah.
I listened to iHeartRadio the other day. They had the Prince tribute. They're playing all, that guy was so talented. I love listening to him.
Oh, he was. And I probably have watched, I think I've watched Purple Rain. So Purple Rain is one of my all-time favorite movies. I know it's hokey and it's kind of stupid, but it's a piece of my childhood of when I was growing up in the 80s. I remember Little Red Corvette.
That's one of my favorites.
Coming out, and playing on one of just the rock stations there in Twin Falls, Idaho. And man, this is hitting me pretty good. I'm, like I said, it's a key to my childhood. Prince, Prince and the Revolution, New Power Generation.
Grew up listening to him.
You look at that Minneapolis, the Twin Cities area at that time. You have Sheila E. You have Morris Day, who is another talented guy. Morris Day and the Time, and they're all from that First Avenue club there in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Sheila E. And then there was many more that we Apollonia 6 and. Man, Brian, have you? When was the last time you watched Purple Rain?
To be honest with you, it was like 2 years ago. It was on late at night, and gosh, I haven't seen this movie in forever.
It was on the other night, dude.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was on last night.
Last night also, and then the night before.
You said it was hokey. It's hokey.
It is. I mean, in all realistic, it's not one of the greatest movies ever.
It did win an Oscar award.
Well, he won an Oscar because of the music.
Yes.
You know, but I mean, there's so many different, great things about that movie. You know, number one, you've got Morris Day and Jerome, in their interactions with each other. You know, there was a scene that just cracks me up that it's after Apollonia 6 plays at First Avenue, and they're getting in the car. She's getting in the car with Morris, and Morris has got a bottle with him, and he's just toasted, And she's asking, well, how are we going to get to where we're going? She goes, where's Jerome? And he steps back, opens his coat, and yells out, in his skin. I mean, it's pretty hilarious. And, the whole scene between, Morris and Jerome about Apollonia coming in to First Avenue, and as Morris was like, let me know, we need a password. And the password is what? And just that whole interaction between them, One of the best videos out there of Prince is the induction ceremony to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I believe it was 2004, and he was playing with, who was he playing with? Tom Petty was in there, Jeff Lynne from ELO, and Prince did nothing but play the guitar, and he had like a guitar solo. And Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top said that he was one of the best guitar players that has ever lived, and Billy Gibbons is pretty damn good himself.
Oh, yeah.
The man played 23 different instruments.
That's talent.
He was a songwriter. He was a dancer in high heels. This guy was 5'5", soaking wet.
Is that how tall Prince was? 5'5"? I thought he was like 5'2", but
he was short. 5'5" might be pushing it.
Yeah.
He loved basketball, and he could play. He was a pretty good hoopster himself.
They just showed him. He was just at a courtside game.
Yep.
Forgot which one, but they showed it on TV.
Huge Minnesota Twins fan. And not a lot of people know Prince was also a philanthropist. And so Brian, what was that story that you were sharing with me earlier?
They were talking about the solar panels that were put up on, I think the number was 13,000 different homes in the Oakland area. And all those families that had them put up have no idea that Prince paid for them all.
He did
That's just one of the
like
few
that
things.
all the time.
Yeah.
And so he was toward the end, he was a devout Jehovah's Witness. I can't remember when he became Jehovah's Witness, but he's always been religious. I mean, even through a lot of his songs, they were pretty dirty,
Oh, yeah, he's a freak.
But he was fairly religious. Always willing to give and donate his time, and he didn't want to be noticed. And so Prince dead at the age of 57, and I know I'm going to miss him. And man, this is where I wish we had music license. I would take us out with a little Purple Rain or something like that. But tributes going up everywhere. Corey Taylor, lead singer for the band Slipknot, did a great version of Purple Rain, probably one of the best that I've ever seen. There's a ton of other people that are doing it as well.
Have a chance to see Adam Levine did a great job, and so did Darius Rucker of Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yep, and I heard Bruce Springsteen did a version.
Cool.
And so, you got people of all genres of music, doing it, genres of music. And so Prince always hated being classified as a certain type of music. But I'm going to put him in a class that there's a bunch of artists, but I think his was feel-good music. Because no matter where you were and what you were doing, if you were listening to the radio or whatever, and When Doves Cry and Little Red Corvette and, Raspberry Beret and Pop Life, you felt good. You were dancing. You were bopping your head.
I'm freaking on the dance floor if those come on.
I mean, Good stuff.
Getting down and dirty, man.
So Prince, dead at the age of 57.
Oh, man, let's go back to those pain pills, though. They got to do something about those.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I mean, if they're going to... How come they don't legalize weed then? I mean, come on. Those pills are bad news if you take a lot of them. Once in a while, it's fine.
Right.
But
if
man,
you need them, yeah.
They're bad. Yeah, if you need them, they're bad news, though. How many people overdose on those?
So I had kidney stones years and years ago, and I was in the hospital, and they hooked me up to a morphine drip. Never ever had morphine before, but I'll tell you what, I got to be honest, that morphine was the greatest thing ever.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you really need
I
it.
can totally understand why people get addicted.
I mean, I'm paying every day, but it's like... But how many overdoses, though?
Yeah. Yeah. Something needs to be done.
Something needs to be done about the synthetic heroin pills.
All right. So, hey, let's turn it to baseball. We are a baseball show. Man, so did you watch any games this week at all? Did you have a chance to watch anything?
You know what? I didn't, man.
Did you see the throw from Puig?
Oh, I seen that on Sports Center.
Throwing the guy out at, what was it,
I still think it. Yeah.
Holy crap.
I still think Jose Guillen's, though, back in the day was a better throw.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did.
He was more on the line.
Yeah. There's a bunch.
Yeah, there's a bunch, but
there's a bunch.
Jose Guillen, that one, though. But Puig, he has a freaking cannon.
So the question is Bryce Harper the best player in the game today?
Yeah,
has he surpassed Mike Trout with Mike Trout's slow start? Brian, what do you think?
With Trout's slow start, I think so. I think Harper is the best player in the game right now.
He's got, 8 home runs?
Freaking rakes.
I know. 20-some RBIs.
He's the best. I hate him.
He's on a planet. He's on a planet. He's on a planet of his own that we haven't seen too many. And the last person, besides Trevor Story, but Barry Bonds. It kind of reminds me of some of those, streaks at Barry Bonds. And you are very familiar with Barry.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, he's the best ever. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I think he is. I don't care.
Yeah.
Ted Williams, Barry was the best. He was the most disciplined, and he just had that eye. He was the best.
People talk, about PEDs, and I'm going to tell you, all PEDs did for you is really add
a little power.
15,
right. Barry still...
It doesn't help you see the ball.
He was the best, before that era.
Before that. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He was. He even if he did or not, he still hit 40 home runs in 93, whatever it was. Or I don't know exactly, but he was still the best player back then. So
and now you got to locker next to him. So
in spring training,
in spring training. So what was that? As a kid coming up, what was that like?
It was pretty cool, man. I didn't say a whole lot, but it was pretty cool. It was a couple doors down, but he had like 3 in the corner, and then it was mine.
Right.
But he was cool. He talked to the people right around him and stuff at the time, and just being around him.
So in the hitting cages, did he ever come up to you and say, "Hey kid, try this"?
He gave us lessons in San Francisco. Me and another guy.
Yeah.
He's like, hop in. I'll tell you guys BP.
And Barry Bonds is one of those guys that you listen to.
Oh yeah. he gets straight to the point. He can look at your swing and tell you exactly what's going on right then. That's what sets him apart from all the other coaches, I think.
He made his return to San Francisco this last week.
Yeah, you see the standing O?
Did you see the standing O? That was awesome.
That was cool.
That was awesome.
Man, dude, that guy can hit. The best.
He could hit. He had the eye, and like you said, he was very disciplined. And
I bet he's a great coach over there too in Miami.
Yeah.
I bet you the guys love him.
I think with Justin Bohr and Giancarlo Stanton,
even though they're off to kind of a bad start or whatever, but I think they'll get with it.
I don't know the connection with Mattingly. They seem to be getting along so far, but
yeah.
2 egos, and but Barry's ego. He's mellowed out since he's played, and he's gotten away with all the limelights off of him, and so, but
just to hear him talk about hitting, man, that's cool.
Yeah, yep, and so we were, before we came on, we were talking about hecklers.
Yeah.
And you were sharing a couple of funny stories, and let's chat a little bit about the hecklers. And so,
there's a guy in Colorado Springs, I believe. Yeah, and he would sit right behind home plate, but he would call everybody by their real first name. It wouldn't be Tony. He'd be like, "Anthony, what are you gonna do now, Anthony? You're gonna strike out again?" Just loud. there'd be very few people at the game.
Right.
He'd call you by your first name though. It's pretty funny, but he would go by every at bat that if you struck out, he'd remind you how you did it and everything. Call it by your first name. It was pretty funny.
So as playing, I mean, how difficult is it to ignore that?
You hear him, but you just block it out. It's hard, especially when nobody's at the game and he's the only one yelling. But you just get used to it. Yeah, I've been booed so many times. I was like, whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
What I want to know, so in the Cal League, well, I don't know what it's like around the other leagues in America, but in Cal League, they have like the beer batters.
Yeah, the beer batter.
And so when you walk into a stadium, and say you walk in, you're playing
laugh.
for San Jose, and you laughed and you saw your name up on the billboard. Today's beer batter is Tony Torcato.
No, I look up, but you guys picked the wrong guy today, man. Only struck out 25 times the whole year. You guys didn't get no free beer today. You're not getting drunk off me, and I wouldn't strike. I'd make sure I wouldn't strike out.
And then there's a call.
I don't care. I'm at least making contact.
And then there's a called strike on you, and then you see that
everybody's
pitcher
yelling,
start to pour a little bit in the beer.
They do.
And then there's that questionable second strike that's called, and then the glass is half full.
Yeah.
So at that point,
then they're yelling. You're like,
you're thinking,
shoot.
I can't strike
funny.
out. I can't give these guys $2 beer.
Yeah, or one. It was like $1. I don't
Even
know.
though everybody will love you.
Yeah. But I'm like, I'm not striking out, man. Look at the stats, dude. I don't strike out that much.
That's funny. But
like when they pick a guy that don't strike out much, you're like, pick someone else, dude. You ain't getting free beer tonight.
Now you played in Bakersfield. You played at the historic Sam Lynn.
Oh yeah,
Stadium.
dude, Big League Park, man.
Terrible stadium.
I think it was awesome.
Did you?
Stadium.
Even with the sun going
Terrible.
down in the batter's eye, games wouldn't get going until 8 o'clock.
Yeah, one of the worst fields I played on in pro ranks.
Rob Nepper, who was the trainer when you played in Bakersfield, he would tell me that one of the games that they played was count fans in the stands. And
it was like 27.
And less than 100. And there's different games for different stadiums. Like in San Jose at Muni, it was on the approach to what was it, Ontario? No, it wasn't Ontario. It was on the San Jose's airport there.
Right.
And so you'd have the planes coming down, and you would guess what plane it was. Delta and
San Jose is a good place to play.
I love San Jose.
That's a good atmosphere. I like playing.
I like San Jose. One of the older ballparks. I think it was built in 41, but it had a nice little park.
It's not
adjacent to it.
It's not really a hitter's park, but
right.
It's a pitcher's park.
The bullpens were in the outfields.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to go to one of those games again.
Not far from San Jose State University.
Yeah,
if
right
there was
there.
a San Jose State University football game, you could hear them.
But they get good crowds.
They do get good
Pretty
crowds.
Cool.
Black widows and cockroaches in the clubhouse.
Yeah. But now it's a good atmosphere. I like playing there.
Good people.
Then I played in Shreveport. That wasn't all that great.
Yeah, I never got to go out there.
Well, I mean, it's so humid that I would sweat all day long, even at my apartment.
Right.
With the AC on.
Now, did you play in Connecticut as well?
No.
Okay.
I didn't play there, but then I went Shreveport to Fresno. Fresno, it was cool. It was a good stadium.
Closer to home for you.
Yeah, but it would be 100 degrees at game time.
Yeah.
Didn't like that too much.
Yeah. Same thing in Bakersfield.
Same in Bakersfield, yeah. So you get used to it, but you're just like, man, if it was 80, perfect.
Bakersfield
102 at 7 p.m., you're like, come on.
They had, so I was in Lancaster, and our trainer would have buckets of bleach water for our catchers. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They'd have the towel, and between innings, the catchers would come over and lay the towel over his head and suck up that bleach. I mean, that can't be good for you, but it kept you alert. Bakersfield was in a tough part of town over there, kind of on the edge of Oildale.
Oh, man, yeah, it's ghetto.
Big old kind of...
But that you pay the price going through the minor leagues.
Yeah.
You got to go through the slums first before you make it up.
So my story of Bakersfield is Jeff Pico was our pitching coach, and he was coming out of the shower one night. And so to set the scene, we were there for a 4-game set. In like games 1 and 2, we noticed something was eating at our spread table when we'd leave. So I'd wrap up the breads and whatnot and leave them on the table. Well, they were eaten through. And so we're like, we got a rat. And so Rob Nepper, our trainer, and I, we find a hole in the training room. And so we put, so in baseball, you've got like 5 different kinds of heat. The buckets of heat. So you got one that you could use with your hands, and you got one that you could use with like a glove, and then you got the others, you had a double glove or triple glove because they were so hot. And I know you probably remember those. Mm-hmm. Kind of like the Bengay, and they'd have the industrial strength. And so we put some of that around this hole, thinking that this rat's going to get some of it on its fur and it's going to burn it and then be gone. Well, Pico's coming out of the shower, and all of a sudden he's yelling and cussing. He's like, "Did you see that?" And I caught this tail going into the stadium, director of stadium operation. His name was Froggy. I don't know if you remember Froggy. Was he? He was probably. I think he was there when.
Was he? Yeah, I don't remember.
And well, come to find out, he had a pet baby possum that lived in the visitors' clubhouse. And so that's what was eating our stuff. Yeah, it was
I don't remember him.
Pet baby possum. We cornered it, and then I think one of the players cut up some fruit and gave it to it, and it was kind of cute.
You remember Kangaroo Court?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like participating in that.
What was the craziest fine that you ever got?
Man, I got to remember now though, but it'd be like 50 cents or $1.
You got off easy.
What would it be? It would be stupid stuff.
I got hit up for $20.
Did you really? That's
Brett Butler.
Too.
Brett Butler. Wow. So the coaches were sitting in the manager's office, and they're watching a baseball game, and it was the Braves and the Diamondbacks. And so I grew up a Braves fan.
Yeah.
And so I remember, walking in, hey, what are you guys watching? Oh, we're watching the Braves and Diamondbacks. And I yelled out, "Go Braves!" And Bugsy stands up and he's like, "That's $20, Kangaroo Court." I'm like, "Come on, Bugsy. You're a Brave at heart. You played for the Braves." He goes, "Who pays you?"
Right.
The Diamondbacks.
Yeah, they get you.
And so $20. I probably got fined 5 or 6 times. I got hit with a foul ball twice, pretty much in the same spot in Lake Elsinore in the dugout on different road trips. Sitting in the same spot, I'd get hit. One of the players pulled out the mat from underneath me when I was walking up the steps in a dugout during the national anthem, causing me to trip. So of course, Kangaroo Court. So explain it to everybody. It's supposed to be fun. And the money went to different things. The money went to different things. It either went for like a party at the end of the year, or went to some sort of a charity organization or whatever. And they find you. If you wear like the wrong hat to batting practice, or you got your shorts on back, or just stupid things like that, crazy things. You've got your little Kangaroo Court guys, and every week or every other week they do it, and they write you down. You put it into a bucket, and
you have a little judge.
You pay the fine. You have the judge. It's got the wig usually, and it gets fun. I can't remember. I think our money went to a worthwhile organization, I believe. And but yeah, it was fun. Kangaroo Court, closed doors.
Question for you then.
Absolutely.
Kangaroo Court, big leagues. Does the price go up on the the fines?
It does.
A little bit. They still keep it,
I don't know. Man, I can't remember doing that a whole lot. But they do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes up, but I don't think it's a heck of a lot.
Not that much, no.
I know the dues go up that the players have to play.
Clubhouse dues do go
Clubhouse
up.
dues, because I know in the minor leagues it was probably right around $90 a month. And then you get into the bigs, you get into the major leagues, and it becomes what, like $500 a month or more than that?
Man, I can't remember. I think in AAA it was like $12 a day, or was it less? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, depending on where you go.
Yeah.
And
I forgot a lot of things, man. I'm trying to remember. Man. Yeah, it was fun. That's all I know.
So, all right, Brian. You're a minor or major league player, position player, whatever position you want. Okay. Prince, of course, is dead. What Prince song do you use as your walk-up?
Hot and wet.
Woo!
Tony, how about you?
Oh man, the Prince song? No, how would they say just any song? It'd be like Rick James and Super Freak. I would come out to that.
I'm gonna go with "Get Off" by Prince. So Brian went with "Hot and Wet."
Really soft and wet, but
whatever.
whatever.
So I'm Norm. That's Brian. Tony, we're going to come back at 10, and we're going to have Tony's dad, Dale Torcato.
Give him a call, see if he answers.
So Dale played with the Walla Walla Padres, and so he's going to give us kind of a different insight into the Portland Mavericks of the beloved, or the battered bastards of baseball. And so he played against them. In fact, he won a championship against that team.
He did, either 73 or 74, one of those years.
So played with Tony Gwynn.
No.
A couple of others. Who did he play with?
I don't know.
Well, we'll ask him.
We'll ask him, yeah.
So,
all I know when he was in high school, you remember the Cordova trio? Mm-hmm. Jerry Manuel, Niles Nyman, and Mike Ondina, I think. And those three guys out of high school were drafted in the first round. My dad was a junior. He played against them. And all three of those guys were drafted in the first round.
Wow.
Out of Cordova High.
That's crazy.
In the 70s. But three guys on the same team.
How good was that team? How good was that team?
Well, they were the best. It was,
Did they lose?
Oh, no. I remember Jerry Manuel, my dad was saying he was fast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Manuel.
Three guys, though, in the first round out of high school.
Marty Cordova, yeah. Yeah, and then Andino, nobody really talks about him a lot. And he was,
I don't know if he made the bigs, but I know he played some years in the minors.
To be drafted in the first round, you are no slouch.
No, but three guys off the same team?
Yeah.
No, that's impressive.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I'll have to check that out and see if it's been done since. I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
No, I don't think so. The closest I think it was our area code team when I was in high school.
Right.
It was me, CeCe Sabathia, Antoine Rollins, Jimmy Rollins' brother.
Yeah, yep.
We played in the area code games in San Diego, and we all got drafted, out of high school that year. I was in the first round, CeCe was in the first round, and Rollins went like the fourth round.
What do you remember about playing with CeCe?
Oh, man, CeCe is a cool cat. I like him.
Yeah,
he was actually a good friend of mine growing up because we played against each other, but we played on the area code games together.
Right.
And then he was drafted. I was drafted 19th overall. He was 20th. And then after we both got drafted, he came over to my house and hung out.
Nice.
Yeah, because we were teammates and stuff. So he came and we hung out after we got drafted and stuff. Came over to Woodland.
Coming down to the end of his career, pretty close. He's probably got a handful more years left, hopefully.
Hey, he had a long career
He's
already.
Had a good career.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Hall of Fame worthy, but he's had a good career. It's kind of like Jerome Williams. Jerome.
I like Jerome's story. He's a friend of mine too.
Jerome.
But he came back though. He
pitched with Philadelphia, but he's not on their roster this year.
But he went to like Taiwan or something overseas.
He went overseas.
He was out of American ball for a while, but he came back and actually got up to the bigs again and got a contract with the Angels.
Here's the story about Jerome. Okay, Jerome and his wife are awesome people. Love them. I have a friend. His name is Davin McNeil. Lives here in McMinnville. I work with him with the Parks and Recreation. Davin took Jerome deep twice in high school.
Wow.
And so at first when he told me this story, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then he shows me the newspaper clipping. And so I've chatted with Jerome a couple of times since, and you've kind of brought Davin up. He goes, yeah, I remember that guy. That's all he says.
Yeah.
But friend Davin McNeil took him deep in high school twice.
Wow.
What a story, though.
Yeah.
What
was cool, man? Back in my senior year in high, we played Vallejo High School, and that's CeCe's team. They came and played us at Clark Field, and CeCe was the starter pitcher. He had 40 pitch count. And I swear, probably 30 scouts were there to watch us. And first at bat, I hit a single. Second bat, he struck me out, so we got each other. But I swear, man, 30 scouts, all of them. And that was
Right.
like the big thing back then. But it was pretty cool, man. In high school, he was throwing 95. He's the best.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Once again,
like telling the
Tony
stories.
Torcato, Brian, producer Brian. I'm Norm, and we are sponsored by. Let's see if Brian's paying attention here. Baseballisms.com. Hey, I'm wearing the childhood cancer hat from Baseballism, and so it's for a little friend Elise, who is the daughter of Chrissy Ritter, Kenneth Ritter, who Chrissy I went to high school with back in Kimberly, Idaho. She is in batting a really rare form of cancer in, I can't remember where she's at. Houston, I believe. But anyways, it's like the first known case, from what I understand. And so, Elise, hello, and hope you get well.
Yeah.
Also sponsored by Baseball Dudes, baseballdudes.com. Chris Gazelle up there in Vancouver, Washington. To be the best, you must train like the best. Base by Pros skipper Mitch Canham over there in Clinton, Iowa with the Clinton Lumber Kings. And his dad, Base by Pros, that is. And Mark Canham, his dad, does MDM Designs, who does our shirts for Clubhouse Chatter. If you want one, hey, shoot me a message. Also, we stream live on yamhilltoday.com.
We are live, and for all you that are still in bed, get your asses up. We are here. Bright and early, 9 a.m. we started. Everybody's
That's right.
Middle America is hungover. Get
That's
your
right.
asses out of bed.
Hey,
And
if you want,
tune in.
tune in. There you go, yamhilltoday.com. Hey, also, if you want to sponsor the show or put your ad up, sponsor the show, yamhill or normo18@gmail.com. We are on Twitter, Clubhouse Chatter 1T, Facebook, Clubhouse Chatter, YouTube, iTunes. Where else are we on? MLB.com blogs, where we are now number 45 amongst the top 50 blogs. So we moved up a little bit. And hey, we'll be back at 10 with Dale Torcato. Thanks for listening.